Hey friends, hope you're doing well. Can't believe that tomorrow is Christmas Eve. Ooh, Kim just shook his head. It's cute. No, I can't believe that tomorrow's Christmas Eve. Like, how did this happen? Christmas just snuck up on me like crazy. I am not ready. Fun, but almost there, almost ready. Anyway, I just wanted to share how downsizing and moving into a camper back in 2021 changed Rocky and I's life so much. We have always been the people that love to go on adventures and, highly value experiences over things and, believe in stopping to smell the roses and enjoy life because you only live once. Don't put things off for tomorrow. We definitely also believe that you should prepare for the future, but live your life, don't just wait until forever. I feel like sometimes people, I'll do that when I retire, or I'll do that, and then they retire and then they die. I mean, I know that's not everyone, but we just believe for us, and everyone's different, and we understand that, but for us, we believe live your life. Go and have fun. Obviously, everything in moderation, but have fun. So anyway, in 2021, we were living in Golden, Colorado, and we had a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house that we rented with a 2-car garage. And we had slowly been, at this point, we had been together for about 5 years. So we had definitely been slowly accumulating more and more things, not on purpose. But I feel like things just accumulate, right? Unless you're actively trying not to. Like, I think if you're not in the mindset of, I don't want more things, or one thing in, one thing out, if you don't have that in your brain, then it's very easy to just, here, collect more. Here's another thing. Here's that thing. Here's that thing. And I'll put it there and put it there. Also, I feel like our society is, so focused on consumerism and buy. And I mean, I used to buy clothes every single month, all the time. I love clothes. And I still have too much, but back then I had way too much. I had like 2 full closets and 1 large dresser that was completely full. And yeah, it was a lot. And we also had a completely full house. But anyway, so we had all this stuff, and I remember walking around the house in the spring of that year and just thinking to myself, like, why do we have all this stuff? We love to go on adventures with our dogs, love to go hiking, mountain biking, do all the skiing at the time, doing all this stuff. We both also worked a lot and whatnot, but it was like when we were home, we had all this stuff, and it was so much house for me to clean, and it was just kind of overwhelming and weighing me down. And at the same time, we had been thinking about buying a house. After COVID, prices were insane, and it was like, we talked about it, and we just didn't want to spend like $600,000 to $750,000 on a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. I mean, it was crazy at the time. And so with those 2 thoughts in mind, I just randomly had this crazy, at the time I thought, idea of, hey, why don't we just buy a camper and move into it? And then we can go wherever we want and just take our house. And I presented it to Rocky, and he loved it. He loved the idea. And so we immediately started working on downsizing, and bought a camper and moved into it just only like a couple months later after we came up with this idea. But downsizing, we ended up getting rid of, I would say, half of the things that we owned. It was crazy. I think we donated about 10 truck beds full of stuff, and I'm pretty sure we had a ton of trash as well. I think probably at least like 10 truck beds as well went into the trash. But just downsized like crazy. The camper we bought was a 28-foot travel trailer. It was amazing. I loved it. It was seriously, like, when Rocky and I look back on it, when we talk to people about it, it was the best decision we ever made. we bought that camper and we lived in Colorado for the first year and, you know, stayed at our jobs and got to see family and friends and whatnot. But Colorado makes it kind of difficult to live in a camper. So after a year and kind of jumping around to a couple different places, we ended up going out of state and traveling around the Pacific Northwest, and it was amazing. Best thing we ever did. And anyone I ever talk to that talks about moving into a camper, I always encourage you to do it. I think it is awesome. If you're thinking about it, do it. I don't think you'll ever be sorry. But even just the camper life was amazing and we love that. But besides that, the moving into the camper and downsizing totally changed my life, Rocky's life, our outlook on things, you know, just having less. I did not realize how much stuff I had until I started thinking about it and started downsizing. And now, 2.5 years later, because we lived in our camper for about 2 years, from July of 2021 to June of 2023. And then we sold it and moved into a rental in Salt Lake City because Rocky got a job at the airline he works at now. And we, for some reason, thought that we needed to be in a house and couldn't live out of our camper anymore. I honestly don't, at this point, really remember why. But we lived there for about 1.5 years, and then we moved back to Colorado this April. So 3/4 of a year we've been here. But I walk around this house, and obviously you fill your house, you know, so it feels homey and full and whatnot, not overly full. Like, I don't feel like we have too much stuff, even though Rocky, I think, thinks we do. But I walk around every single day and I want to get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. And I think once a month I go through my stuff, like my clothes and makeup, jewelry, just anything like that, and get rid of stuff and donate stuff, even since we've been here. Well, maybe it's not once a month, but every other month for sure. I know I've donated stuff at least 3 or 4 times since we've been here, and we moved here in April. But just downsizing and having less, and I feel like people don't realize, like, I feel like when I talk to people about this, they kind of give me that look like, wow, that's crazy and extreme. But at least for us, I feel like, or we feel like, sometimes your stuff kind of owns you, and I don't want that. I want to be able to, you know, live my life and go on adventures, not have all these things weighing me down. And I also think, how much stuff do you really use? You know, you have all this stuff, and I've definitely realized that through my clothes. I mean, even now, I need to get rid of even more, and it's like, how much do I really wear? Like, I feel like you have your favorites, and you wear those on repeat, and you have these other things, like, I have a lot of clothes that I still hold on to because I'm like, oh, I like that, and I might wear it, and this and that, which I'll probably end up purging a little bit more and getting rid of those too, but I don't know why it's hard sometimes to let go of things, but it feels so good when you do, and you downsize and just let it go. And yeah, we have so much stuff, but we don't really use all that stuff. We don't need all that stuff. But so, I don't know, it was very freeing, and I definitely loved downsizing. And when we move out of this place, we're planning on moving into a camper again when our lease is up at the end of March. So we're definitely going to downsize again, and I'm going to bring you guys on that journey. But yeah, we have more than we need right now. But you got to fill a house, right? I mean, you need a dining room table. Well, I guess you don't need it, but I like having a dining room table. So it's nice to have when we're here and we're using it. But I will be more than ready to let these things go when it is time for them. If you feel similarly, or you live similarly, or you're just interested in this, I would love for you to follow along and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. Remember, progress over perfection, and wander well. Thank you.